Welcome to today's briefing, where the world feels like it's spinning faster than ever. From trillion-dollar defense plans and global trade tensions to secret deportation flights, AI wolves, and a Supreme Court ruling with echoes of the 1700s, this isn't just another news day. It's a glimpse into the shifting future of geopolitics, technology, and human rights. Let's dive in. In a major announcement that's already sending ripples through global defense circles, former President Donald Trump has unveiled plans for a $1 trillion defense budget, an unprecedented figure in American military spending. Standing beside Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Trump declared, "Nobody's seen anything like it." Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth later confirmed the figure on social media, adding that the funds would be focused on enhancing lethality and readiness. The plan represents a significant leap from the current $892 billion and includes deep cuts to individual service budgets. Tens of thousands of civilian defense roles may be eliminated, and both domestic and overseas bases could be consolidated. Despite the formal budget being slated for late May, this early reveal signals Trump's aggressive push for military modernization. Part of that shift may come at the expense of existing overseas commitments. The Pentagon is reportedly considering withdrawing up to 10,000 troops from Eastern Europe. This would cut the post-Ukraine surge force in half and redirect resources toward the Indo-Pacific or domestic security efforts, such as operations along the southern border. While no final decision has been made, the proposal faces resistance. General Christopher Cavoli, America's top military commander in Europe, has advised maintaining current troop levels, citing ongoing threats from Russia. Meanwhile, tensions with China continue to escalate. Trump has announced a sweeping 104% tariff on Chinese goods, set to take effect immediately. This follows his earlier threat of a 50% tariff increase if China failed to withdraw its own trade measures by April 8th. China has vowed to fight to the end, condemning what it calls unilateral bullying. International responses have been swift. South African agricultural groups are warning of massive job losses, while countries like Sri Lanka and Indonesia scramble to adjust trade policies. Small business optimism in the U.S. has dipped, tourism has declined, and even Canadian lumber exports are taking a hit from a separate tariff hike. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni is scheduled to visit Washington on April 17th to address the trade war head-on. Calling the tariffs wrong, Meloni emphasized the need for a mutually beneficial zero-for-zero deal. Her foreign minister also stressed the importance of maintaining strong ties with the Trump administration. Closer to home, Trump's approach to immigration has taken a new turn. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled 5-4 in favor of using the 1798 Alien Enemies Act to deport alleged members of Venezuela's Tren de Aragua gang. This wartime-era law, rarely invoked since World War II, allows for the removal of foreign nationals tied to hostile powers. While the court required that detainees be given notice and a chance to challenge their deportation, 2 planes had already transported Venezuelan men to El Salvador before the ruling was issued. About 200 individuals have been deported under the act. Many were identified based on tattoos, some depicting eyes, crowns, or religious symbols. Lawyers argue that these tattoos were misinterpreted and are common designs, not clear markers of gang affiliation. Government officials maintain that deportation decisions weren't based solely on body art, but families and attorneys remain unconvinced. In another controversial policy shift, the Trump administration is reportedly exploring the use of drone strikes against Mexican drug cartels. Discussions are underway between the White House, Pentagon, and intelligence agencies to target cartel leaders and infrastructure. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has firmly rejected the possibility of foreign military action on her soil, warning it would severely damage U.S.-Mexico relations. The administration's hardline immigration stance has also extended into federal agencies. Acting IRS Commissioner Melanie Krause has resigned amid internal turmoil and growing scrutiny over a secretive agreement to share taxpayer data with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The deal allows ICE to access tax records of individuals under deportation orders, a sharp departure from previous IRS practices. Krause reportedly learned about the finalized agreement from news reports, not official channels. Health headlines have also taken a sobering turn. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. visited Texas this week to comfort the family of 8-year-old Daisy Hildebrand, who died from measles-related complications. The child was unvaccinated and had no underlying conditions. Kennedy called the MMR vaccine the most effective way to prevent future deaths and pledged to continue supporting outbreak responses nationwide. Despite earlier comments downplaying the scale of the outbreak, Kennedy now says federal resources are being mobilized to assist affected regions. North of the border, Canada is facing global scrutiny over its medically assisted death policies. A United Nations committee is urging Canada to repeal its Track 2 provision, which permits assisted dying for individuals with chronic conditions that are not terminal. Critics argue the policy reflects systemic failures in healthcare and housing and is influenced by ableist assumptions. The UN has recommended pausing a planned 2027 expansion that would allow access based solely on mental illness. Canada, however, has no plans to repeal the system. Supporters say it empowers disabled individuals with choice, while critics warn of growing international concern. And in the world of science, something once thought impossible has happened, or has it? Texas-based biotech company Colossal Biosciences has announced the birth of 3 genetically engineered wolf pups designed to resemble the extinct dire wolf. Using ancient DNA from fossils and modern gene editing tools, scientists produced wolves with modified size, coat color, and skull features. However, experts caution that these are not true dire wolves, but rather modern wolves with cosmetic similarities. Colossal maintains that under the morphological species concept, the pups qualify as dire wolves. The debate continues. Finally, in California, a Superior Court judge has upheld Huntington Beach's voter ID law, ruling that it does not violate election integrity. The decision has drawn criticism from state officials who warn it could disenfranchise voters, but supporters see it as a major victory for local autonomy. That's all for tonight's news update. Thank you for joining us. We'll continue to monitor these stories and bring you the latest developments. Stay safe, stay informed, and have a good night. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update.